All right. Hello, everyone. Just sharing the screen here, making sure everybody's admitted. I think we've got everybody entered. How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody had a good weekend. All right, so we will get to the Monday questions. We didn't have a ton come in, so certainly if you do have some questions, you can feel free to chat them in and I will address those. The first one that came in was a few questions, so we'll kind of work our way through these. First one is regarding what supplements should I take during chemo? Will they be okay if liver enzymes are elevated? Liver product. Um, Ultimately, the chemo protocol is what we would like you to do when you are taking chemo. So if anybody needs the chemo protocol, let us know. I did send the chemo protocol to this person, and this person is kind of new with us. So just kind of starting some of these initial protocols and, getting on track with incorporating our recommendations and conventional recommendations. So yes, there are some additional supplements that we do recommend that you take if you are starting chemotherapy. They are certainly not mandatory, so it's up to you, but we have these as suggestions. And the reason we do suggest these is because they are helpful to all of these suggestions are helpful to allow the chemotherapy to target those cancer cells more readily, and then it is healthy and protective for your healthy cells. So one of the things that we have you do is a water fast 24 hours prior to chemo administration. And we've talked about this before, just stating that cancer cells are unstable when there's a starvation going on. So they really want that fuel source in order because they're so metabolically active. So they need fuel, they want fuel. And so when we're starving, your cancer cells are not as they're not happy when they're starving, whereas our healthy cells are more adaptable to that situation. So 24-hour water fast just kind of preps those cells so the cancer is going to uptake that chemo right away, and the healthy cells, it's protective for the healthy cells. Supplements that we would like you to take during chemo, one of them is a liver supplement. It's called Liver ND. And yes, it would be fine to take that is if the liver enzymes are elevated. I'm sure liver enzymes are probably elevated because of the chemotherapy itself. And I'm sure you're having blood work done and they are monitoring that. So liver ND would be one that we would suggest you take. You wouldn't want to take the liver ND from the administration of chemo up through that 48 hours after chemo, because that is kind of that sweet spot where the chemotherapy is going to do what it's designed to do within that first 48 hours. So we don't want to be doing a lot of detoxing. We don't want to be taking a lot of liver support supplements during that 48 hours because we want the chemotherapy to do its job and to do its work. So you would take that liver ND, outside of that 48-hour mark. And then another one that we suggest is called Body Bio PC. So that's phosphatidylcholine supplement. And this one is fine to take, throughout uh, chemo and that 48-hour mark. Um, and it is protective to the cell membrane. So the cell membrane consists of a phospholipid bilayer, and the phosphatidylcholine is necessary to maintain the integrity of that cell membrane. When we're administering chemotherapy, your cells are being destroyed. So the membrane of the cell is obviously destroyed in that process. And so in order to protect, healthy cells as much as possible, the Body Bio PC supplement is a great addition. And then we are not doing any of the coffee enemas or detoxification foot baths during, again, that 48 hours after chemo. Once that 48 hours is up, then you can add back in any supplements that you took out for that 48 hours. We want to do rapid detoxing after that 48 hours to get the chemotherapy out of the system because that's when it starts to do its damage to healthy cells. So we pull it as fast as we can. We're adding back in, foot baths and coffee enemas. And so again, the details are all outlined on the chemo protocol, but that is kind of in a nutshell what it consists of. And then next question here, full spectrum CBD oil during chemo, that would be fine. You can take that. Should I run a detox Rife Light program at any point before, during, or after chemo? So I kind of just covered that. So you can do the detoxing programs, up until chemo administration. So the night before, that would be fine. If you're going right away in the morning to your chemotherapy session, again, just don't do any of those detoxing programs from administration through that 48 hours. Where in the bed is the light supposed to go? Closer to the head or under the covers by the body? So it depends on where the location of your cancer is. So we recommend that you are placing the bulb as close to the cancer location as possible, of course, without it disrupting your sleep. So if you have a brain tumor and, then you would kind of want the bulb up by your head. But we don't want that light to be distracting you from sleep. So a lot of times patients will put the Rife bulb under the pillow, if they want it up close to their head because they have a brain tumor. So putting it, a little bit under the pillow so it's not flashing, keeping you awake at night. If you have breast cancer, then you want it as close to that breast as possible. Again, without it, disturbing your sleep, because if you're, so concerned about the placement of the bulb that it's keeping you from falling asleep or staying asleep, then that's not good. So you don't have to be touching it. You can touch the bulb, you can snuggle it close to you. That's absolutely fine. But it can just be in the bed right next to you. But again, we do want it closer to the location of the cancer. And it is fine for it to go under the covers. That is fine. How often can you do an ion detox foot bath? So you can do them daily if you would like. But again, just not inside that 48 hours of chemotherapy because we don't want you to be doing a bunch of detoxing during that time. But you certainly can do them daily if you'd like and see how you feel. You just kind of play that by ear. You don't have to do it daily. Most people are using an Ion ProWave program maybe 3 times a week. But do know that the Ion ProWave programs that we've created for you that are in your folder, they are cancer-related frequencies. So there's higher frequencies that we can get into the body by using the foot bath. And so what we've created for you in your folder, the Ion ProWave programs, are higher cancer fighting frequencies for your type of cancer. And then, so they're not, specifically geared towards detoxing. Again, those ones that we've created for you. In the general Ion ProWave folder, there obviously are more programs that you can run. A lot of those are for detoxification. So you can run those if you're looking to do extra detoxing, after your 48 hours of chemo, then run some of those detoxification programs. And then she asks, which of the detox foot bath programs is best? So in that general folder, there's one called Clearline Detoxification. That's a great, general detoxing program. So anything that says detoxification in it would be a great program. There's not one that's best or better than the others, just any one of those detoxification programs you can try. You can try liver support programs, kidney programs. Any of those would be great to run. And then again, the foot bath programs we have created for you, they are higher cancer fighting frequencies, so they're not necessarily detox frequencies. All right, so hopefully that answers some of those questions. The next question that came in is related to blood pressure. My blood pressure has been pretty low over the last week or so, 106/66. Is this okay? It hasn't been this low for a long time. Seems like it has gone down since we changed some of the nutrition a few weeks ago. Okay, so blood pressure. So this isn't necessarily too low. Yes, it's a low blood pressure, but generally it's not too low. Once we start dipping below 90 over 60, that's typically considered, too low, or, we need to do some investigating what's going on here. Um, so that is not too low. That is okay. I guess my question would be, are there any other symptoms going along with this that you're experiencing? Any lightheadedness or dizziness? How are you feeling otherwise? Are you feeling sick or nauseous? Do you have blurred vision or anything? Are you feeling weak? Are you feeling faint? So some of these types of questions would kind of go hand in hand with maybe low blood pressure. I know this person in particular has some thyroid issues going on and thyroid meds. I don't know if they have changed recently. I know in the beginning when she started with us, she may have cut back on some of the thyroid meds, and I think things stabilized. So, just kind of thinking along those lines of thyroid. Is anything going on? If you're not really having any other symptoms, I would just say, well, your blood pressure is just a little lower, but not too low. The other thing too is people who are very thin can have low blood pressure as well, just kind of naturally. So as long as you're not really experiencing any other symptoms and you're not dipping below that 90 over 60 mark, then I think we are okay. Um, and the next question is, after pneumonia and antibiotics, I've come down with a yeast infection. Is there something that you can suggest for this? So certainly will play a role. Making sure you're continuing a low sugar diet. Ultimately, your microbiome is just off because of the antibiotics, causing an increase in that yeast. And so we need to kind of work to maintain that the microbiome, the balance between all of the good bacteria within the gut. And so taking a probiotic, a high strength probiotic could be really good. If you don't have one, we have some, um, a number of different probiotics, and we have some packets that are 250 billion, I believe, I units of probiotics. So you could try that one. They're little packets. You might want to take that. You could try doing sitz baths, with some chamomile tea, um, something like that. You can eat plain yogurt. Plain yogurt is high in probiotics, so you can try eating foods high in probiotics. So yogurt, you could even try inserting some plain yogurt vaginally. You could take a probiotic capsule, put it in some of the plain yogurt, kind of mix it up and then let it sit overnight to kind of activate the probiotics. And then you could put some of that vaginally to see if that could help as well. And there's supplements too. Candicid Forte is a supplement that can help with yeast overgrowth. And then certainly your Rife machine. So I don't know off the top of my head a specific name of a program for a yeast infection, but certainly use your Rife machine. Look through those general programs to see if there's anything for a yeast overgrowth or yeast infection, and try running that as well. Okay, next question. I frequently get shooting pains in Prometheus, his cancerous neck tumor. Sometimes it's 1 to 3 times, and other times it can be 1 to 6 times per day. Do you know why I'm having these pains? So it's hard to say, an exact reason. So I don't know for sure, but certainly anytime there is tissue tissue damage, that can lead to just some strange sensations and shooting pains, kind of zingers. So anytime there is a tumor, yeah, there's a lot of things that are going on in that location, and they could be affecting the nerves in that area, giving you some of those zingers. So it could be tissue degradation, it could be tissue regeneration. So it could be kind of a healing thing where, ooh, you're getting zingers because of the healing process that's going on. Could be related to the Rife machine and what, we're stimulating by using the Rife therapy. We're targeting that area, we're targeting those cells, we're activating the immune system, trying to trigger the immune system to go to that area of the body and to take care of the cancer cells in that area. So it could be part of that healing response, part of the body's response to the Rife frequencies themselves. So I would just, monitor, if it changes, if it becomes more intense or it's more, it changes where, for a while it was, the zinging pains. It's now more of a sharp stabbing pain. So let us know if it changes. But, I guess it's really hard to say what it is for sure, but we just need to, kind of monitor all signs and symptoms and put it into scale with, kind of everything that's going on to see if we can, is this positive? Is this negative? Do we need to change something? What do we need to do here? So to kind of assess what the protocol would be. So hopefully that helps shed some light on that. Sorry, it's not, an exact answer, but a lot of times we're working in this gray area. So there's not a lot of black and white answers. Any other questions? So these were all of the questions that came in over the weekend since Dr. Connor's call on Wednesday. Are there any other questions that you guys have that you wanted to chat in, or anything over the weekend that you were thinking about or didn't have time to submit to the Zoom call? I don't see any chats that came in. Well, I hope that everybody is having a good day. It was really foggy out this morning on the drive into work. It was a little treacherous, but it's nice, bright, and sunny now. Have some beautiful fall days to look forward to. All right, everyone. Well, it was a short Zoom call today, but hopefully you guys are getting all your questions answered. Thank you again for submitting your questions through the Zoom platform. Continue to do that. Dr. Connors will be answering the next batch come Wednesday. All right, everyone. You guys have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.